For the supers, I will rank them again about what they do. And I would say how they perform in if you play solo, maybe. Or if you go into, like, dungeons and stuff like that. I'm gonna rank them between, like, what they do and usage in dungeons and maybe a bit of higher end content, like maybe GMs. I think I'm gonna rank them like that. Okay, Arc Staff. Arc Staff, I would probably put into D tier, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's a good super for at clear, but considering you would use super with, like, now not talking about, again, I'm not gonna include exotic armor who makes super sometimes better, but it wouldn't be fair to those supers who don't have that. For example, the golden gun, this one, the fast shooting one with the 6 shots. Not the marksman, because marksman obviously gets hardcore getting better thanks to Celestial Nighthawk, but it would be not fair, for example, as well. Science and Squad doesn't have one, so. Arc Staff, I don't think I would bring into GMs. Like, it's kind of sad because I really love Arc. Like, I don't know what it is, but I love Arc Hunter. Like, I love Arc Staff. I really love Arc Staff. Like, might it be for, I don't know, might it be for PvP, for PvE? I always loved it, but it just never felt like it delivers like that well. And it's quite sad because, as I said, I really love the super. I love the subclass quite a bit, but D tier because I would not bring it into a GM. No chance. Not in a dungeon either. Blade Barrage, per se, I think I would put onto B tier. Like in the middle. Because it has decent damage output. It's decent. It doesn't have that high of a cooldown either, if I remember correctly. Let me check. I think it's one of the faster charging supers. If I... Tier 4, Tier 2... Yeah, Tier 4. It has like one of the fastest charging solo supers for Hunter. So I think it's a pretty decent super. It does good damage. It can do Aclear, it can do boss damage, like it can do both. So I feel like it's pretty good. It's decent. Golden Gun Marksman. This one is the Marksman, right? Yeah. So obviously, if you use Celestial Nighthawk, obviously it becomes an S tier because of the damage output. Considering it as a standalone with not getting Radiant, I think is a C tier, personally. Like, it still does decent damage, to be fair. It still does overall decent damage to enemies, but like the 3 shots that you need to do, and you need to hit every crit spot, every time the crit spot, which, for example, on a Vex boss sometimes is not that easy. I feel like, as a standalone super, that is. I think I could be better. It could be better. Mobius Quiver. I feel like damage-wise, it doesn't... Wait a minute. It does only damage, right? It doesn't do... After the Shadow Shot, able to twice super activation, so twice. While that applies weaken, suppress, and volatile on hit, and tethered enemies increase their damage taken by 30% and sharing 50% of voice shot damage taken in order. Shadow these 20% increase damage against tethered enemies. While anchors lost 644, killing tethered enemies increased duration by seconds. Okay, I feel like I would put it on A. Because it's high damaging super. It's very versatile. You can use it for enemies, like for act clear and for boss damage. It still weakens, it makes volatile, so it's really good, to be honest. I think it's really good. You can cast it quickly, you can let it do its job to like have a breather moment. So I feel like A tier is pretty easy. Silence and Squall, dude, like it literally has no exotic that enhances it, and I feel like it doesn't need it. Silence and Squall, in my opinion, is a really good super. Of the simple fact, it slows and freezes targets. It goes around alone. You can just cast it and then you can resume with whatever you've been doing. It might not do the best damage, but the shatter damage is really good. The shattering of the frozen targets is really good. It has, basically you cast it and you don't have to think about the super. Like just cast and that's it. And then it does its job. Like act clear, boss damage, boss suppression, it's really good overall. I think like it's one of the best hunter supers that are in the game, to be honest. And honestly, it's just satisfying to cast it. I think the only thing where I would say where it lacks a little bit, even though the animation when you cast it is really, really cool. Like it's super cool. I would say the animation goes on for too long, especially in PvP. Spectral Blades. Personally, I don't think the super is that great. I know people say it's not bad, but personally I never liked it. Like, it's good. I know. It's good. It's good. But It could be better in my opinion. It could be better. Boss damage wise, I don't think it holds up that much. Act clear wise, it couldn't hold up that much. It can hold up too. But I don't know. I feel like there's better options on the Void subclass. Storm's Edge. Now PvP wise, I would have given it S tier before they hired the cooldown. But now it's basically impossible to get it, I feel like. It's very difficult to get it. I would probably put it... I feel like it does still good damage. I'd put it into B tier. Because I think it holds still up quite well in act clear, in boss damage as well, survivability, PvP and PvE wise, but it's not like that extra step good to go into A tier, to be honest. Because, well, I don't think it doesn't do like anything except for damage. Because owing off 100 impact up to teleport afterwards before and while you strike off the tap point, do 1600 times 2 damage to enemies within meters. Consume super energy knife throws up to 3 times for super activation. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's... It doesn't do anything like extra. If it maybe gave you amplified and jolted targets, that could have been interesting. Like maybe not in PvP, but PvE talking wise. But I don't know. I feel like it got quite down quite a bit. Silk Strike, to be honest, I feel it's one of the weakest supers in the game on Hunter, especially for PvP. I don't like using it in PvE, to be honest. I'm not really that fond of it. I know that like the circular attack, the right click, the heavy attack is really good. The precision damage is not too bad either. I guess you can grapple the whole time to get to targets as well. That is not too bad. Okay, even though I'm not 100% sold on it, I do have a build with it on PvP. I've tested it and I noticed that they did the target acquisition is a bit better. Like the going up and down with the target acquisition is a bit better than it used to be. Because when it first came out, you literally had to be in a straight line with enemies. Now it's kind of like they can still be a bit above you or below you and you hit them. But before, that wasn't like that. So just because of that little change, I'm going to give it a B tier. Just because of that. Because like that makes it really good. In PvE, to be honest, like as a standalone, I'm not really 100% sure. I might still give it a B tier because like ad clear wise, you have ad clear, you have single target damage. It's not bad, I guess. You have the infinite grapple if you land on your feet and you're not mid-air. So, okay, B tier sounds reasonable. B tier sounds reasonable, I feel like. Okay, this one. This one is not Marksman. How's it called again? Deadshot. I knew it was something with that. Deadshot. So, PvE-wise, I would probably put it into D. PvE-wise. But considering how well it can perform in PvP, I actually might give it, just PvP wise, an A tier. Because like you get with kills, you get refunded as well. No damage ability scores, damage resistance. 6 shots go on gun. These are damage per shot without the ability to score precision hits. Radiant damage bonus effect is damage. It's damage output. Ignition grant an ignition bullet to the magazine. Don't you do like ignition by base with it if you hit precision shots? I think you do. If you do that, hopefully I'm not wrong, but if you do the ignitions by base, if you kill with it, you should. I would say A tier is pretty good. Like for PvP. PvE, I would put it in C if not D. But considering how well it can perform in PvP, I might give it an A tier. Because you can literally shoot someone out of his super as well, with using 1 to 2 shots of it. So I feel that's pretty good. Like, I think that's sick. Gathering Storm, I am tempted, as a standalone super, I'm tempted to put it into S tier, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I feel like it can be really, really good. Like, let me really quickly check. Gathering Storm. Damage resist 90%. Hurls forward and arcs after explodes and empties itself and within whatever it hits on impact. Deals 675 damage and applies Jolt on impact. That alone is really good. Explosives deals up to 605 damage in a 5 meter radius. After 2 seconds, the Arcstaff gets struck by a lightning strike, dealing up to 1500 damage in an 8 meter radius. After 1.2 seconds of being struck by lightning, the staff emits a damaging field, dealing 495 damage every 0.7 seconds in an 8 meter radius for 8 seconds. I think S tier. To be honest, like the animation when you throw it is awesome. By itself, it does a lot of damage. It debuffs targets easily in PvP and PvP, considering like if they use it well, for example. In PvE is really good for boss damage or just cleaning up enemies as well. Like having that little safe space somewhere. For example, you're like in a room, an enemy starts spawning and you need a breather, you just throw it on the ground on the room and it takes care basically of everything. So I feel like S tier is very... I think S tier is really good, to be honest. Shadow Shot Deadfall, dude, is like the best super. One of the best Hunter supers in the game. Like, hands down. It weakens targets, it lasts very long, even if you don't hit the target at the beginning. It lasts like 22 seconds, I think, on the floor. Or 20 seconds. 30 seconds even. Like, it weakens and suppresses targets. Oh, dude, it's just really good. Like, it's good for boss damage because it weakens them and makes them take 30% more damage. It doesn't work together with other things. Like, I think with Divinity it doesn't work together. They don't stack. I don't know if they actually cancel themselves out. I'm not 100% sure. But I know they don't stack. It suppresses targets easily, so for a lot of enemies, Clear is super good to use. For boss, is really good to use to suppress them. Like, I think, like, this is... if I had to choose and say what is the best super on Hunter, I would probably say Deadfall. Shadow Shot Deadfall, I think, is the best super on Hunter. I mean, there's a reason why I basically use it on every of my prismatic builds, to be honest. Like, by base. Okay, let's go through the tier list real quick. So, Silence and Squall, S tier 100% for me. Gathering Storm, S tier 100% as well. Shadowfall Deadfall, 100%. Shadow Shot Deadfall, 100% as well, S tier for me. Mobius Quiver is good, it does good damage, but it's not as good as Deadfall, I feel like, but it's good. Deadshot, PvE-wise, I wouldn't use it, to be honest. I don't think it's that great. PvP-wise, I think it has immense potential. I think it doesn't even have that much cooldown. It's a tier 2. It does have quite a bit of cooldown, but it's okay, I'd say. Considering Yeah, considering that Storm's Edge is tier 1, and you barely maybe get it in one game, you can get this one easier, to be honest, that shot. So I think A tier is pretty good, like PvP talking wise, not PvE talking wise. Blade Barrage I think is pretty good overall. Like, you have good boss damage, you have good act clear. I wouldn't necessarily use it. I like it, but I don't know. The cooldown is not too bad. I'm actually thinking if I should put it into A tier, to be honest. Because it doesn't have... You know what? I'm going to switch this up and put it into A tier, because Blade Barrage is not bad. It's very versatile. It has low cooldown. It's a tier 4. Yeah, tier 4 super as well. So you don't have that much cooldown on it either. So I think it's pretty good. Storm's Edge, I think, is really good, but it only has the damage. It doesn't jolt, it doesn't do anything, and it's a tier 1 super. So it takes so much time to get it. And I think just because of that reason, I wouldn't use it, to be honest. I used to love it when it had lower cooldown, but since I upped the cooldown on it, I don't know. I'm not that big of a fan of it anymore, sadly. I still think it's strong, but eh. Six Strike, I would have put it into D tier, as I said before, if it didn't have a better target acquisition now. Wouldn't be my first pick in PvP in PvE if I didn't have a complete Strand build. It certainly isn't the first pick on Prismatic. So I think B tier because it's strong and has good like single target, it has good area target damage. It has infinite grapple basically. So I think it's good, but not that good. I think in the middle part it's okay. It's okay. Marksman, Golden Gun, I think as a standalone, not counting in Celestial Nighthawk, is not that great, to be honest. Because the time you utilize to get the precision hits, if you get all of them, you're better off just casting Blade Barrage and then go back to using your heavy weapon, like, I don't know, your Linears to do the damage and stuff like that. I think you have more benefit doing that than using Golden Gun Marksman, to be honest. Still a good super, I say, but I think not that great without its Celestial Nighthawk. Arc Staff, I would have really loved to put it into S tier because I love Arc Staff, but it's not that great. It doesn't do a lot of boss damage. It might hold up quite well at clear, but other than that, I don't think it's that great, to be honest. I wish it would be. I wish it would, but it's definitely not, sadly. It's definitely not. And Spectral Blades as well. I don't think it's that good for boss damage as a standalone. It's maybe good for at clear, but as soon as you have a bit of a higher enemy, I don't think it holds up that well. So I think that's a pretty decent tier list. I think that's fair. That's pretty fair. Now I kind of want to do a Gathering Storm build, I'm not gonna lie. But nice, okay. That's a fair input.